Hello dear learner, we have come along and now this is the last video in matrices and transformation. I'm calling it the climax of this chapter. And look at the board. Using matrices or matrix method to solve simultaneous equations. As I said before, in Form 1 you had 3, elimination. You also had substitution. And then there's another one called graphical method. And now we are in this last one called matrices. We shall apply the concepts of determinant, the concept of inverse, then the concept of multiplication of matrices. And of course, multiplication of matrices with the scalars, and at times subtraction and such kind of stuff. So everything that we've learned from video number 1, 2, and 3 will be incorporated here so that you get another good marks. We can say maybe 4 marks. This question is going to come in the exam. This question will carry more than 4 marks, which maybe is going to be 10 marks. But if it is plainly use matrices to solve for x and y or 2 unknowns, it will be only 4 marks. But if it is now infused with other areas, it will add up to 10 marks. So we straight go to an example. Straightforward to an example. I want to call it a super example. Super example. I know you know when I give super examples, what I mean by that. Use the matrix method to solve the simultaneous equation following pair of simultaneous equations. Yeah, simultaneous equations, just to remind you, this is an equation, these are equations of 2 unknowns. We have types of equations in mathematics: quadratic equations, algebraic equations, simultaneous equations, yeah, equations of circles and such kind of stuff. So this one is equations of 2 unknowns. Now, the equation, the simultaneous are 3a plus 2b is equals to 12. And another one, 4a, actually let me alter it a little, let me confuse it a little, minus b plus 4a is equals to 5. The reason why I have confused the positioning of a and b in both, actually in the second one for example, is because you will find equations where x and y are not in the same order or column or row. So what happens is you first of all arrange it properly so that you can have them arranged in the same order. So this is 3a plus 2b is equals to 12. Then of course start with 4a so that you can make them in the same arrangement. Of course you could have even started with b also and then know b is the one that begins, but in this case a is the one that comes first, is equals to 5. So the first thing you do here, you first of all form a matrix from these parts of the equations. Form the matrix. Form a matrix with that proper arrangement. So the matrix is 3. You extract the values given in those equations. 3, 2. Then you have 4, and this is negative 1. Don't forget, there is a negative 1. So this is the matrix. And this matrix has been pre-multiplied with A and B in that order. So another matrix, A, B. 2 by 2, 2 by 1. 2 by 2, 2 by 1. So these matrices can be multiplied because these 2 is common. The column here and the rows here are the same number. Then of course, after this one was done, the answers were another matrix, 12, 5. So I want us to move step by step. We have done the first step, and this step is totally nothing because there are no mark given for doing this. You have totally done nothing, but you are advancing to doing something. Now at this moment, This matrix formed here is the matrix of interest. So if you want to advance and get the values of A and B, you start by looking for the determinant of this matrix. So the matrix in question is 3, 2, 4, negative 1. So the determinant, we have done that one before. So it will be negative 3 times 1, sorry, 3 times negative 1 minus 2 times 4, which is 8, and the determinant is negative 11. So at that point now you are in a position of now you are starting getting marks. You are now getting marks as we move on like that. Then, after getting the determinant, we have gotten the determinant, we go to the inverse. The inverse. So I want to assume there's a mark for the determinant. We shall have another one mark for the inverse. And then of course later on we shall have 2 more marks. This question is purely 4 marks. It is 4 marks. Now, the inverse, you already know something about it. So 1 over the determinant, 1 over negative 11, or 1 over 11, negative 1 over 11. Then multiply with, change positions of the main diagonal as usual. Negative 1, 3, we change position, they switch position. Then negative 2 here, and negative 4 here. We open it fully so that we can get our mark completely. So we shall have, the inverse has been found. It is 1 over 11, and then 2 over 11, then we have 4 over 11, and finally negative 3 over 11. So at this point, second mark, determinant, inverse. Now, the inverse is very important. The inverse is very important. We shall skip very many unnecessary steps there so that we can get to looking for the values of A and B. We carry now the inverse. Let us carry the inverse. Let us carry the inverse with us. The inverse is very important. We have the inverse 1 over 11. We want to simplify our work. 4 over 11 here and negative 3 over 11. So what you do, in this case, what you do, this inverse is going to be pre-multiplied by the answers you got on the other side. Remember, 3a plus 2b is equals to 12. 4a minus b is equals to 5. So I am skipping unnecessary steps. So the inverse that we got here is going to be multiplied by this column, this matrix, 12, 5, and what you shall have is A, B. Precisely, because we now want to get 2 more marks. So again, multiplication of this 2 by 2 by a 2 by 1. This is a 2 by 2, and this is a 2 by 1. And they are compatible here. You can see that. Multiplication is row column. So we shall have 1 over 11 times 12. 1 over 11 times 12 plus 2 over 11 times 5. 2 over 11 times 5. And I want to show you something very, this is now magic. Once we are able to do the first row and the column, we get the first value, that is A. The second one means, if you want to get the second value B, we shall do the second row and the column. So 4 over 11 times 12, 4 over 11 times 12, plus 3 over 11, negative 3 over 11 times 4 over 11 times 5. So that one will give us B. Do the determinant, come up with the matrix, look for the determinant of that matrix. Number 3 mark point, get the inverse of that matrix, and that matrix inverse that you have, multiply it with the answers given in the simultaneous equations, skip unnecessary steps there, and then come up with the multiplication between a 2 by 2 form and a 2 by 1 that is formed. This is 12 over 11, so A is gotten by 12 over 11 plus 10 over 11. This is like 22 over what? 22 over 11. So which is 2. That is the value of A. Then B is given by 48 over 11. 48 over 11 plus, actually minus, negative 15. 15 over 11. What do you get?
33 over 11.
33 over 11. 33 over 11. So it is going to be 3. Your A is 2. Your B is 3. I have skipped very unnecessary steps that will give you no mark. In fact, they even make you go wrong. Look for the arrangement of the elements. Make the matrix. Look for the determinant. After determinant, look for the inverse. Then take that inverse and multiply with the values given at the end of these simultaneous equations and multiply row versus column so that you can get the values of A and B. So much grateful for your time. Continue perusing through our work. Watch all of our videos. Wilfred Mumani Okangi Heaven Kiongozi. Till the next chapter, next lesson. Goodbye.